YouTube, what is going on? Above Average Cody here to discuss the newest update in Halo Infinite. Now that we've had a few days to test out the new network changes, the little tweaks to the gameplay, and the big March update all together, it's now time for some honest thoughts from your boy Above Average Cody here, guys. So I'm going to give you guys all of my first impressions. And the biggest thing to remember here is these are my experiences. I'm East Coast. I relatively have a pretty decent ping. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, but just keep that in mind. The only person that can really account for how your game feels is you. This video is more for people who maybe haven't played yet and are curious how this update is, or maybe people who want to compare how their game feels to kind of what I'm experiencing with these big network changes. So of course, guys, comment below what you've been experiencing with the newest update, especially with how the new network feels, and of course, subscribe and leave a like on this video. Now, let's get into, first off, what you should expect from this update. Now, don't expect to hop onto the game and have it feeling like a brand new game. We're still playing Halo Infinite. Everything feels pretty similar. Just expect more consistency. And that's really what I wanted from this update in this network, because there were many gunfights that it was like, you know, this one you die one way, and this way you trade, and this way you get the kill, and it seemed like there was a lot of inconsistencies. So don't expect it to be perfect. Just expect more consistency throughout your gameplay and how you die, how you're getting kills, and everything of the sort. Now, referencing my nice little list here, guys, I'm going to start off first by talking about how the new network feels for me personally, and I'm going to go down the list. First off, with shot registration. One of the biggest problems we have had on Halo Infinite for pretty much the entire life of it is shots not registering. Moments where you shoot your gun and it does no damage because you died. You know, the bullet made the sound, but the bullet didn't actually shoot, and everything of the sort. It feels a lot better. Me and many others have said that it feels like maybe like 98% of the shots are hitting. You'll still have a few hiccups where it feels like you should have gotten the headshot, or you get the hit marker and it seems like it didn't do any damage, and things like that, especially with the bandit rifle, but it does not happen nearly as often. I've had maybe one kill in the time since the update has been out, where I thought I had the headshot, I got the hit marker, but the enemy did not die, and that is literally one occurrence where it probably would have happened 5, 6, 7 times in the time that I've been playing Halo Infinite prior to this big network update. So shot registration, guys, from my experience, is quite a bit better. Now, getting shot behind walls, another big topic here on the old network, guys. It feels a lot better, at least for me. I have not had a single occurrence where I have strafed into cover, tried to run away, and there's been like a BS angle where I've died from. It's all seemed really good and really consistent. I've seen mixed reports from people with higher ping, but anything's going to be a little bit wonkier on the higher ping, guys. Again, you'll have to just play and experience it for yourself, and feel free to give me some feedback. But as for me, everything feels pretty explainable in terms of running behind cover and trying to hide behind something and preserve my life. Moving on to stuttering, guys. And by this, I mean, like, the kind of choppiness, you know, the most common way I would experience this is in a close-range gunfight. When you're in a close-range gunfight, strafing side to side very quickly, it just did not feel smooth. It felt rough, it felt gross, and it just felt really awkward. Now it literally feels so smooth. Like it feels like there's like a million more frames going on when I'm in a close range gunfight. That's how buttery smooth it is. It doesn't feel like I'm fighting somebody in a mud pit, at least from my experience. So that's really cool. It feels a lot better, and close range gunfights just feel not necessarily winnable, but they just don't feel bad. They feel much, much better. And on top of the stuttering, guys, I have not tripped over a single rock on Solitude yet, so that is also pretty cool. So to really summarize how I feel with the new network and everything, it's really smooth, guys, and everything has been relatively explainable. The melee trades, the bandit trades, which has happened probably 3 or 4 times for me in the last 2 days. A bandit trade. Again, I mentioned quite often I would have it where I'd shoot the bullet, I would hear the bullet shoot in my headset, but the bullet would go nowhere. It's like it didn't even exist for the enemy. But now I can actually do that and get a 1-for-1 trade with the bandit with my enemy, and that is fantastic. Completely changes the game in a lot of 1v1 gunfights because it's winnable for both sides pretty much seemingly no matter what ping or connection you may be on. So On top of that, the melees, guys, it feels like there's some situations where I should get lunge, but I actually haven't gotten lunge on the new network. And this could just be that I'm used to the BS insane, like, Superman lunge that I was getting prior to this new network. So maybe this is just how the game should be. It's going to take a while to adjust and get used to it. Again, we've been playing on this old network with these, like, cheesy melee trades and kills and cheesy, like, lack of trades for 2.5 years now. 1.5 years? 2.5 years? Comment below how long Halo Infinite has been out. So it does feel a lot different, but I think everything is relatively explainable. And now, guys, I'm going to move on to controller settings. And this is specifically something I've experienced, something a lot of people have been talking about, but I don't think it's as big of a shift as people are kind of talking about it being. So the sensitivity when you get on, at least for me and some others, I can't confirm it's going to feel that way for everybody, it feels slower. Not vastly different, but you can just get on and it feels a little bit more sluggish. So what I did was I went up one value on my horizontal and my vertical sensitivity. I went up one whole value. It felt a little bit too fast, so I went back down to a half. So I've gone up only a half, and it felt a little strange day one, but then day two, I kind of settled in, and it felt more like what I had prior to the update. So I really do think a quick little raise of the sensitivity may be your fix. I know playing with your center dead zones may help as well to kind of increase the reaction time for you on your controller. But again, settings, guys, very relative. It's whatever feels comfortable, whatever works for you and your controller setup. And of course, what feels slow for somebody else could feel fast for somebody else, and vice versa. But that's kind of just how I went through the controller settings. Just expect them to maybe feel a little bit tiny different if you are logging on for the first time. And now, guys, more simple stuff. The scoreboard. If you can see down below in this gameplay, you can actually clearly see the score and the time left in this CTF game. They did make the scoreboard ever so slightly bigger. This is a fantastic change, not only mid-game, but when you're going to be spectating the HCS or anything, any event. It's always been really hard to see, especially if you're on a TV sitting far away from the screen. So I think this is really helpful in a lot of regards. Something so simple goes a very long way. And next up, guys, they did quiet down the sound of the bandit shots, and I'll tell you what, I haven't even noticed, which is fantastic because it's not so obnoxiously loud, which is one of those very subtle changes that is very good for us players that are playing a lot of ranked or a lot of game modes where you're using the bandit a lot. As for spawns, guys, spawns have been pretty wonky in recent months. And they adjusted how the bandit affects spawns with the cone of influence or whatever they call it. You'll have to refer to the patch notes for the exact terminology there. But spawns feel good. They feel consistent. I haven't really seen any spawns where I go, huh? What? That doesn't make any sense. And that's really good. That's very good for a ranked environment and really any environment in general. Finally, guys, I have not played them, but I've seen people saying that the new maps on Squad Battle are really, really amazing. I obviously got to tip my hat to my social players out there in the audience. And Squad Battle, great playlist. It got a revamp of, I believe, 7 maps. I don't believe it was 8. I believe 7 maps. That's a big influx of maps. And again, I've seen people saying that they are, in fact, good maps and they're fun to play on, which I will be dipping my toes in eventually. But I've had very limited time to play, so I've been kind of feeling my way through ranked and seeing how the new network feels. And guys, that's pretty much all of the main points that I wanted to cover. The biggest takeaway and the biggest change for Halo Infinite is kills being explainable. The homie Jason put it this way in chat. There is an explanation to pretty much every time you die, or pretty much every kill that you get, or every melee that you trade or don't trade. There is a reasonable explanation. I do not have to stand up out of my chair and start sobbing going, I shouldn't have died there. Everything seems to make sense. On top of that, everything feels smoother. You know, even if you just hop into a 1v1 against a bot and just swing your reticle around, it just feels, I hate to use this terminology because it's not perfect, but it's buttery smooth, man. It feels a lot better. So all you players that play this game every single day, you're complaining about how you die, and you know there's been too much BS in the air that you can deal with, you'll be very satisfied, and I think you will really feel this. If you're more of a casual player, maybe playing Halo Infinite once a week, I don't really think you're going to feel too many changes. Again, it's really not that big. It just feels a little bit smoother, but I promise you, you'll be a little bit more pleased with when you die in those weird situations. It is just a little bit easier to explain. So overall, guys, I think this network change was was a big enough improvement to justify it being a big old W. You know, this is not an L. It is definitely an improvement over what we were working with before, and any improvement is good. You know, you can't knock anything getting better, you know. And then to see Squad Battle get some maps, Husky Raid just got some maps, the networking feels good, the Bandit's not blowing out my eardrums, and I'm not tripping over rocks on Solitude. I'm really happy with the update, guys, and I'm really interested to hear all of your thoughts down in the comments. But that covers everything that I want to talk about in this video. I am 100% confident I missed some things, but these are all of my first impressions and the main things that I want to address about this update. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe to the channel. A lot of Halo Infinite content. I have been so busy. Life has been absolutely beating me over the head with a stick right now, but we're making it through, getting content out as much as I can for you guys. Obviously, live streaming 5 days a week. So, guys, hit that subscribe button. Enough about that. Hit the like button. Channel memberships down below. Go subscribe. Go buy a channel membership and subscribe if you'd like to support monetarily. But that's enough talking, guys. Obviously, I'm losing my mind here. So get out there, enjoy the new update on Halo Infinite, guys, and stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.